It's Thursday, May 14th. In the headlines, major health projects set for completion in the 2026-2027 financial year. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green announces ambitious plans for the sector. In business news, influential Jamaican businessman Dennis Layla has died. And credit cards will now provide proof of identity using artificial intelligence. Regionally, United Nations recognizes Barbados for its use of technology in agriculture. And in sports, Jamaica's ice hockey team records 2 wins in 3 games in Chicago. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The government says several major health facilities are planned for the 2026-2027 fiscal year as part of efforts to strengthen Jamaica's healthcare system. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton made the announcement during his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament on Tuesday. Among the projects scheduled for completion are the long-awaited Cornwall Regional Hospital and the Western Child and Adolescent Hospital in St. James.
Those 3 health centers and 2 hospitals will see some 700,000 visits a year in a new environment, new diagnostic, new bed space, all in support of building back the infrastructure to support the people of Jamaica.
The Western Child and Adolescent Hospital will provide specialized care for children.
Western Child, 220 beds, other specializations, MRI, ICU, and others, Madam Speaker. We will see significant capacity being rolled out during this financial year.
Meanwhile, a 6-story wing at Spanish Town Hospital is expected to be completed by the middle of next year. Dr. Tufton also announced plans for infrastructure upgrades at the University Hospital of the West Indies, Bellevue Hospital, and Kingston Public Hospital. The health minister says that the investments are expected to improve access to diagnostics and imaging services across the public health system, while helping to address long-standing challenges in the sector. During his sectoral presentation, Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Minister Floyd Green laid out ambitious plans to revolutionize the country's crop sector, promising increased support for farmers and a push toward sustainable growth amid global challenges. Marlon Samuels has more in this report.
And this year we will be offering 30 scholarships.
Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, emphasized the government's commitment to transform Jamaica's agriculture sector into a more sustainable and competitive industry, especially with global uncertainties. He highlighted recent initiatives aimed at increasing productivity, supporting small farmers, youth in farming, and expanding export markets.
It's about ensuring systems of resilience and adaptation are ingrained in the ecosystem of our sectors. Not just forward planning for climate change, not just forward planning for global insecurities, but ensure that we're implementing actions that will lead to true transformation. It's about the youth in Boghole. It's about the youth in Anatole Bay. It's about the youth in Newcomb Valley or Penance. We have to ensure that they can see a future in agriculture, in fisheries, and in mining. We are confident, Mr. Speaker, that if we develop our production systems to truly feed ourselves in times of rain, drought, or war, if we capitalize on the blue economy, if we develop new industries of mining, our people will be better off, our rural communities will be better off, and our country, Jamaica, will fulfill her true potential.
Due to shifts in global temperatures and weather patterns, the minister also made commitments to protect Jamaica's agriculture sector against these uncertainties.
These extreme weather events are a part of our everyday reality, And as such, insuring crops against these perils not only makes our farmers more bankable, but also gives them the security to recover faster. Today, members, I'm pleased to announce that as we grow forward, this government will be providing $50 million to provide insurance coverage for 5,000 farmers, prioritizing our agri-parks, our youth, and our women.
Green announced new measures to provide farmers with better access to modern technology, improved infrastructure, and financial incentives. He also stressed the importance of climate resilience, mentioning efforts to introduce more drought-resistant crops and sustainable farming practices.
Mr. Speaker, as we grow forward to build resilience, we understand that protected agriculture is a fundamental part of our strategy. Today, I am pleased to inform the nation that this government is embarking on the largest outlay of protected agriculture structures in our history. The government is spending $800 million constructing 95 greenhouses across 4 parishes before the end of this year. In Content, Manchester, we're transforming our greenhouse cluster into a protected agricultural zone, complete with storage and a new farm road. We are growing forward through protected agriculture. One area that I must address, under the Green Climate Fund Adapt Jamaica project, we are seeking to design and build greenhouses that can withstand Category 5 hurricanes. It's one of the hallmarks of the project. We're going to be designing a greenhouse that is fit for purpose for our reality, and we're going to be spending over $1.5 billion over the next 5 years to roll out those greenhouses.
The minister also announced plans to revamp the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA incubators, and the establishment of more farmers' markets to tackle excess produce or gluts, and to directly connect farmers to consumers.
Where we have to provide a space with more suitable equipment for small agro-processors so they can engage in recipe formulation, small-scale production, and start to build scale. Then we're going to use the RADA Agrimat as the outlet for them to sell their products. Additionally, the RADA Home Economics Unit will be seeking to engage our fast food companies and agro-processors with recipes that they have developed utilizing local produce for commercialization. We will be also engage in the Ministry of Education to develop a slate of products for distribution that utilize excess agricultural produce. The last area to deal with the excess is our farmers' market. Our farmers' market have worked, and we're going to now ramp up the numbers of farmers' market that we have. We're going to increase the number that we have at the ministry. We're going to target areas like Negril, St. James, Portland, Portmore, to keep more farmers' markets.
The minister also called for greater collaboration between the government and the private sector to foster innovation and growth within the sector. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Marlon Samuels.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is urging Jamaicans without land titles to register the properties they occupy through the National Land Agency, saying secure land ownership is essential for economic growth and social development. He was speaking at the official inception ceremony for the National Land Agency's Land Administration Capacity Enhancement Project. Danita Rodney has more in this report.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says proper land ownership and administration are foundational to Jamaica's next phase of economic development. He says many Jamaicans still occupy land without formal titles, creating barriers to inheritance, financing, and investment.
There are many Jamaicans alive today who have worked the same piece of land, some for more than 50 years, built a home on the land, farmed the land, raised family on the land, and who still cannot provide proof on paper that the land belongs to them. That gap between possession and title is not a bureaucratic inconvenience only. It is a barrier to finance, to security, to inheritance, and to the formal economy.
Dr. Holness says the Korea-backed project will modernize the National Land Agency through new technology, training, and a land administration and innovation center in downtown Kingston.
So, we hope to develop the same structure, the same disciplined system of ownership and maintaining the administration of land that Korea developed. And so we welcome the partnership. We see it as strategically important and beneficial to Jamaica's development. The Land Administration and Innovation Center, which this supports, will be located at 84 Hanover Street in Kingston. This property has been reacquired for this national purpose. It will be renovated and equipped as a modern training and innovation facility for the National Land Agency and the wider government.
The Prime Minister adds that proper land titling can help families access mortgages, allow farmers to secure financing, and reduce long-standing land disputes. He also urged Jamaicans to begin the process of formally registering their lands.
So I want to appeal today to Jamaicans. Go and register the land that you're on. Go to the NLA's office. They're not quite ready yet. And I see Cherise, the CEO, smiling and saying, why is the Prime Minister setting me up like this? However, what I do know about bureaucracies, you have to challenge them. If you leave bureaucracies in their comfort zone, nothing gets done.
Dr. Holness notes that the government's long-term goal is to ensure every parcel of land in Jamaica is properly titled and digitally recorded. He argues that would improve housing development, agriculture, investment planning, and the overall efficiency of the land market.
It is not impossible for Jamaica within the next decade or two to have every single parcel of land titled. And once you start to have titles and you know about every square inch of land, then we can have a proper system of addresses, which we now don't have. It becomes easier to sell and transfer land. We have a better system of estimating the value of land, and your land market, which supports your housing, construction, agriculture, becomes more efficient.
The Land Administration Capacity Enhancement Project will run from 2025 to 2031. Officials say it forms part of broader efforts to modernize Jamaica's public sector and improve service delivery through digital transformation. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
Longtime business giant Dennis Layler has died. Mr. Layler, who was a chartered insurer and founder of ICWI Group Limited, passed away Wednesday night after a period of illness. Widely regarded as one of Jamaica's leading business figures, Layler built ICWI into one of the Caribbean's largest full-service financial institutions, with operations across Jamaica and the wider region. Throughout his career, Mr. Layler served on several major boards and organizations, including Air Jamaica, Jamaica Association for the Deaf, the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, and the Jamaica Racing Commission. In 1983, Mr. Layler received the Prime Minister's Medal for his work in business and sports, and in 1990, he was appointed a member of the Privy Council of Jamaica. He also served on the Council of the University of the West Indies and its Audit Committee, while also leading the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica as president from 1990 to 1992. Denise Williams has more news from the world of business in the Business Report.
Credit card company Visa launched its Tap to confirm and Tap to activate technology for issuing banks. Launched in collaboration with fintech partner Keno and Fidelity Bank Bahamas Limited, this innovation shifts how consumers prove who they are to their financial institutions, turning the physical Visa card into a trusted identity credential that works with a simple tap inside the banking app they already use. The solution integrates Visa's real-time card data authentication directly through VisaNet, the world's most advanced payment processing network, handling over 150 billion transactions annually. For the trading period of May 13, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Grace Kennedy Limited shares with 5,271,617 units, representing 17.9% of market sales activities. Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 4,944,470 units, representing 16.78% of market sales activities. JMMB Group Limited 9.5% preference shares with 3,713,398 units, representing 12.61% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in auto, finance, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for May 13, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $157.09 and buying at $159.24. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $3.99 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $113.58 and was bought for $117.57. For the British pound, continued volatility offers short-term trading opportunities of $5.70 in profits for the bank. The British pound sold for $210.79 and was bought for $216.49. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, let's look at why career planning without lifestyle planning creates imbalance. Many professionals spend decades building careers while postponing experiences, rest, exploration, and mobility. Then later, their energy change, their responsibility increase, or their health shifts. A more balanced approach is to build both. Build your earning power and your lifestyle flexibility. And your credit report sits quietly in the middle of both systems. Instead of asking, how do I afford to travel? Ask, what financial habits today create mobility later? These questions then change how you use your credit, how you structure debt, how you manage cash flow, and how intentionally you build your life. Because sometimes the real value of a strong credit report is not the loan. It's the ability to say yes to opportunities, experiences, and movement when life opens the door. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados is earning international recognition for using technology to strengthen agriculture and food security, with the United Nations spotlighting several innovative regional programs aimed at boosting climate resilience and protecting fisherfolk. The initiatives were highlighted during the launch of the UN Barbados and Eastern Caribbean 2025 Annual Results Report at UN House. CBC News' Deanza Roberts has more.
Barbados is earning praise from the International Telecommunication Union for its growing use of artificial intelligence and digital tools in agriculture. International Telecommunication Union Area Office Representative for the Caribbean region, Cleveland Thomas, says the ITU is working across the region to expand digital access, particularly for small-scale fishers. That initiative focuses on keeping fishers connected while at sea and reducing the risk of them going missing.
I think recognizing the tremendous work being done by the Ministry of Agriculture here, we have to commend Barbados moving and using AI in many respects as far as agriculture is concerned and in other areas. So the commendation, I think, is well noted. That being said, for us within the ITU, we have a few programs like the Smart Sea project. When we talk about Smart Sea project, we are working with small-scale fishers in order to use technology so that while they are outside beyond the reach of DIGI and others, that they have access, communication.
Mr. Thomas says digital training and school connectivity are also on the agenda through global programs.
We have a project called GIGA, G-I-G-A, which is really school connectivity and trying to engender that training aspect and release an encouragement of the use of technology in school, etc. So even spectrum, the use of spectrum and so forth, the coverage that one would have. Quite a few things that are happening, but I just thought it would be useful to mention some of those things as you spoke specifically to agriculture.
Staying on the agriculture front, innovation is also taking shape through partnerships with the Ministry of Agriculture. Policy Officer, the FAO Sub-Regional Office of the Caribbean, Roberto Tillera, says this is critical for Barbados, where water stress, not scarcity, poses a challenge.
We do have more than 1,000 millimeters of rain per year, but which indicates that there's no huge scarcity, but the rains can concentrate certain periods of the year, and that generates the stress in the soils. So the idea is to save water using modern irrigation systems that estimate the amount of water that the plants need.
Other initiatives include recycling fish waste into fertilizers and animal feed, as well as protected agriculture systems that help farmers better manage pests and climate conditions. The programs highlight how technology, innovation and partnerships are shaping a more resilient future for Barbados and the wider Caribbean. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Director of Guyana's Local Content Secretariat, Michael Monroe, is underscoring the importance of ensuring Guyanese citizens remain at the heart of the country's rapidly expanding oil and gas economy through strong implementation of the Local Content Act. Speaking on the need for greater local participation, Monroe highlighted the critical role of Guyanese businesses, professionals and workers in driving sustainable national development, while emphasizing that local content policies must continue evolving to create broader economic opportunities and long-term benefits for citizens.
One of the main issues that we've been having, and you would imagine, because the Local Content Act places a premium on persons being Guyanese, right, it then incentivizes Guyanese to use their nationality as a way of saying, okay, they own these companies, they own these businesses, right, when in fact it's not them who are the true owners. They don't ultimately own and control the companies. So we have had numerous instances of Guyanese placing themselves in these types of circumstances, and that has caused us to raise and flag those concerns and highlight it to the companies. So we're hoping that this is something that has preoccupied the mind of the Secretariat. It has preoccupied the mind of the policymakers as well. And we're currently in process of deliberating on how we could close that loophole and how we could endeavor to make local content more impactful. The higher the level we could reduce the incidence of this type of activity, I think the more impactful we will be in rendering true value of local content.
Is it ever disappointing for you to see Guyanese placing themselves in that position?
It's extremely disappointing. It's extremely disappointing simply because this act was enacted for the benefit of Guyanese. We understand that in many countries where there's a discovery of oil, the locals are more often than not be mere bystanders and spectators in their own country. The government has decided that, we want to place a premium where we elevate our citizens from being just mere bystanders to actual participants. Right. So it's disheartening when you see locals who, for whatever reasons, sell themselves shorter than what the expectation is in terms of their true and meaningful participation in the sector. So it leaves me with a heavy heart, I must say, when I see these type of commercial structures coming before me, because it doesn't portend well for the letter and spirit of what we were trying to achieve when we enacted the Local Content Act.
In sports, we begin on the rink as Jamaica's national ice hockey team is still celebrating their strong performance following the opening leg of the Challenger Series in Chicago. Competing at Fifth Third Arena between May 7 and 9, Jamaica finished joint top of the standings alongside Greece after winning 2 of their 3 matches. Backed by Mayberry Investments Limited's $5,000 title sponsorship, Jamaica opened the tournament with an impressive 7-5 victory over defending champions Greece. Jamaica then suffered a 6-2 loss to Puerto Rico despite a strong third-period effort in which they scored 2 unanswered goals. The team bounced back in their final game against Lebanon, producing a dominant display to secure a convincing 6-2 win after outscoring their opponents 2-1 in the final period. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.